Hello, I'm Sebastian. Welcome to Nine Nartrees podcast. Today, I will summarize and review the book In Dark Money, The Hidden History of the Billionaires Behind the Rise of the Radical Right. Renowned investigative journalist Jane Mayer delves into the dark corners of American political finance, revealing the influence wielded by a select handful of billionaires. Mayer meticulously traces the origins of this financial power and its implications for democracy, exposing how vast sums of money have transformed political landscapes, often to the detriment of public interest and democratic discourse. Focusing on key players like the Koch brothers, Mayer uncovers a web of connections and strategies employed by wealthy individuals to reshape policies that favor their interests. Through a blend of in-depth research, compelling narratives, and real-world examples, she illustrates the escalating threat posed by unregulated campaign financing and the often hidden motivations behind it. This book is not only a deep dive into the mechanics of money in politics, but also a call to consciousness regarding who truly influences governance in America. Mayer's work provokes reflection on the essence of democracy itself and challenges readers to consider the broader implications of allowing wealth to dictate political power. I will give you key takeaways from this book. Firstly, the rise of dark money in politics. Dark money explores the rise of political donations from unknown sources in the United States, particularly in the wake of the Citizens United vs. FEC Supreme Court decision in 2010. This landmark ruling effectively eliminated restrictions on corporate and union spending in elections, thus opening the floodgates for unprecedented amounts of money to influence political outcomes without transparency. Mayer outlines how this decision has contributed to the emergence of dark money groups, which can operate without disclosing their donors and often push agendas that benefit a small oligarchic class. The book details the proliferation of these organizations, recounting how billionaires have utilized them to orchestrate campaigns and dismantle regulations that constrain their interests. Through her investigative lens, Mayer emphasizes the alarming implications of such financial anonymity, where elected officials may feel beholden to the wishes of their donors rather than their constituents, effectively undermining voter influence and altering the foundational principles of democratic governance. Secondly, the Koch brothers and their network. A significant focus in Dark Money is on the Koch brothers, Charles and David, who have emerged as key figures in the proliferation of dark money in American politics. Mayer meticulously details how these billionaire industrialists built a vast political network, which includes think tanks, advocacy groups, and front organizations designed to further their libertarian and corporate agendas. The Kochs have invested heavily in promoting policies that favor deregulation, tax cuts for the wealthy, and opposition to climate change initiatives. Mayer captures their strategic mindset, showcasing how they rival traditional political parties and mobilize resources to shape public discourse. The infrastructure created by the Kochs extends beyond mere financial contributions. It represents a systematic approach to political influence that includes grassroots organizing and significant media power. This section of the book raises critical questions about the balance of power in politics, illustrating how personal wealth can be turned into a political weapon that can distort policy priorities and public opinion. Thirdly, the impact of dark money on climate change policies. Mayer powerfully connects the dots between dark money and environmental policies, particularly regarding climate change. She notes how a significant portion of dark money funding has been directed towards denying climate science and opposing regulatory efforts aimed at environmental protection. The underlying motivation appears to be a desire to protect fossil fuel interests and maintain lucrative business operations without government oversight. Mayer highlights specific campaigns and organizations funded by dark money that have generated misinformation about climate change, creating a public perception that undermines scientific consensus. This aspect of the book serves as a critical reminder about the intersection of wealth, politics, and environmental issues, emphasizing the dire consequences of allowing special interests to dictate climate policy under the guise of free economic expression. The implications for global climate action and public health are profound, raising awareness of how financial influence can hinder necessary action to combat environmental crises. Fourthly, legislative manipulation and policy shaping. In Dark Money, Mayer delves into the mechanics of how dark money translates into legislative manipulation and policy shaping. She explains how influential donors and their organizations engage in lobbying efforts to craft legislation that aligns with their financial interests. This influence is often exerted through strategic funding of political candidates who are likely to support their agendas once in office. Mayer provides numerous case studies, illustrating how key pieces of legislation, particularly those impacting health, labor, and environmental protections have been shaped or obstructed by the interests of wealthy donors. This theme speaks to the broader trend of seeing policy decisions as products of backroom deals and financial transactions rather than democratic deliberation and public good. Mayer emphasizes that such manipulation poses a grave risk to representative democracy, as ordinary citizens' voices can be drowned out by the din of moneyed interests, leading to legislation that may not reflect the populace's needs. Lastly, the future of American democracy, Mayer concludes Dark Money with a sobering reflection on the state of American democracy and its potential future. She warns that the unregulated flow of dark money threatens to dismantle the very tenets of democratic governance. The privatization of political influence fosters a sense of disenfranchisement among the populace, leading to widespread apathy towards the electoral process. Mayer discusses the need for reform in campaign finance laws to ensure transparency, accountability, and fairness in political participation. She also advocates for the importance of civic engagement, urging citizens to advocate for change and reclaim the political landscape from the grips of billionaires. This topic resonates particularly in the current climate of division in the United States, calling for a collective effort to recognize the dangers that dark money poses and to take action to restore democracy to its rightful owners, the people. Mayer's contemplative insights encourage readers to consider their role within this democratic framework and the changes necessary to safeguard it. In conclusion, Dark Money, The Hidden History of the Billionaires Behind the Rise of the Radical Right is a crucial read for anyone concerned about the integrity of democracy and the power imbalances that affect governmental policy making. This book is particularly relevant for students of political science, activists, and everyday citizens who wish to understand the mechanisms through which wealth can shape political realities. By exposing the hidden networks that funnel money into politics, Jane Mayer equips readers with the knowledge needed to critically evaluate the forces at play in political campaigns and legislation. This book serves as a wake-up call to recognize the effects of dark money on our democratic processes, urging us to consider the implications for future generations. Readers will benefit by gaining insight into the long-standing implications of unchecked financial power, becoming more informed voters and advocates for political reform. In essence, Dark Money illuminates the shadowy corridors of political financing and invites readers to reflect on their civic responsibilities, ultimately inspiring a more engaged and informed citizenry that is critical in challenging the status quo of political influence built on wealth. Understanding these dynamics can empower individuals to take active roles in politics, ensuring that democracy is truly representative of the people's will rather than the interests of a wealthy few. If you would like to support Jane Mayer, you can buy the book through the Amazon link I've provided in the podcast description. After reading the book, please let me know what you think and share your thoughts. See you around.